Welcome to Group 9's Case Study 3. Let's start with some key facts. HDFC was initiated by the federal government of India in 1994 and commenced its operations in January 1995. It is one of the largest of 27 private sector banks in India, and its primary goal is to keep customer convenience as a priority and to have robust security at the same time. In 2007, the bank was plagued with some phishing attacks. Phishing attacks were so prevalent at the time that in 2006, 1 out of every 115 U.S. customers was targeted by a phishing attack, with a result of approximately $630 million lost to these attacks. Phishing attacks first became evident in India's banking industry in late 2006, and HDFC was the fourth Indian bank to encounter this problem. To help with security, HDFC has split its servers up. Online servers are located at its data centers, and authentication servers are located at RSA premises. RSA is a security company that's based in the United States that HDFC has signed on with. They also provide a 24/7 command center for HDFC. The bank has also introduced a cooling period to help with security. This is where transfers of funds to a new person are only effective after a 24-hour wait. Validation and authentication are the minimum requirements for approving any online financial transaction at the bank. And the CIO has planned to introduce a second level of security for online transaction called Secure Access, which incorporates the details of beneficiaries of customers in the authentication process. Key issue 1. What level of security should HDFC Bank utilize to protect its online banking transactions? We offer 3 alternatives. Return to the previous level and measures of security, keep the current security levels and measures, or increase security levels and measures using all 5 security pillars via outsourcing. Return to previous level and measures of security has the following pros. Security is insourced with all the benefits that go with that, so you have money is saved. The confidentiality concerns of outsourcing are negated. Security is under the complete and direct control of the bank. The cons of this approach: online transactions are highly susceptible to attacks because there is really no security measures in place before the ones that are currently in place. There's a high risk of loss of confidential information. There's possible litigation from customers if their information is lost. And there's the loss of money. Keep the current security levels and measures. The pros of this approach are there's no additional cost or resources to develop or implement anything. It utilizes 2 forms of authentication and an identification process, so it offers some level of security. It also utilizes a historical footprint check, and it's not too complex, so there's an added convenience to the customers. The cons of this approach include it lacks many of the key pillars of security, which opens it up to attacks besides the phishing attacks. Dormant accounts are particularly vulnerable because of this one-sided security approach. And security is outsourced, so it is costly. Increased security using all 5 security pillars has the following pros. You're still utilizing authentication and identification procedures that are currently in place, as well as the historical footprint check. Data privacy is controlled through encryption. Data integrity is also controlled through encryption. You have non-repudiation, which provides proof of data transmission so a transaction cannot later be refused, and dormant accounts are protected. The cons of this approach include increased cost to develop, implement, and maintain, increased complexity, which makes the process a little less convenient to the customer. What we recommend is increased security using all 5 security pillars via outsourcing. The reason we recommend this is the current security is lacking and accounts are still susceptible to phishing and other types of attacks. This approach is the most robust security measures available, and though it is inconvenient at times, there's new technology and applications are emerging that are mitigating the inconvenience to the customer. Key issue 2. Which infrastructure of servers should HDFC Bank use? we offer two alternatives: on-site model and off-site model, or cloud-based. The on-site model, the pros of this approach include low rate of systemic failure, as HDFC would have total control over its own local networks. There's no separate medium of communication required between HDFC and vendors. It's difficult for hackers to infiltrate the system, and customer data would not have to be exposed to a third party. The cons of this approach: it's idle and not scalable, as the data center is of fixed capacity. The bank would have to hire and manage a bigger IS team. Capital expenditure would be spread over longer time frames, and the bank has to deal with phishing and other attacks on its own. The offsite model offers the following pros. Cloud computing could be used in the offsite model, which is a highly desirable method of securing the data. The capacity of the data center can be scaled up or down depending on the requirements of the bank. This type of model could be implemented in a short time frame. The bank could opt for a pay-by-use pricing, which would greatly reduce the cost. The bank could also show the expenses as revenue expenditures in that fiscal year, and there'd be less work for in-house IT department. The cons of this approach would you would need a separate medium of communication between the bank and the vendor. Customer data would have to be shared with a third party. HDFC would have less control of servers. Therefore, a higher rate of systemic failure is possible, and third parties may not share historical data once the contract ends. What we recommend is the offsite model of securing the data. We recommend this because it's more versatile. You have the ability to scale based on current and future needs. RSA, which is a company devoted to security, not the bank IS personnel, is the one securing the data. You can utilize pay by pricing, which greatly reduces the cost, and it can be implemented in a much shorter time frame. Therefore, it is the better pick. Key issue 3, how to address dormant online users. We have 3 alternatives. Introduce a new system to force online users to change their password every 2 months, change the IT policies or rewrite them with dormant online users in mind, or to deactivate a dormant online account after a fixed period of time, notify the customer with a text message or email, and require reactivation at a physical bank location. Introduce a new system to force online users to change their password every 2 months has the following perks. It forces more frequent access of everybody because they have to come in at least every 2 months and go to their account. Otherwise, their password's out of date. It has additional security because we're changing the password every few months. The cons of this approach: it's inconvenient to the customers to have to keep changing their passwords. There's no guarantee that users will change their passwords. Some would simply let their password expire and have an account with no currently accurate password. And customers have to keep up with ever-changing passwords, with IT having to reset passwords that are forgotten. Changing the IT policies or rewriting them with dormant online users in mind does have some perks. Additional security measures can be built into the process since we're redoing it. It could cause growth in the organization, or it can cause growth in the number of online customers we have because we're rewriting the procedures with a specific population in mind. It does have cons though. It can be very costly to rewrite everything. It takes a lot of time to rewrite policies, and it could cause inconveniences to the current online users who are used to the current way. Deactivating a dormant account and then notifying the customer and requiring reactivation at a physical bank location does have some perks. First, it reduces successful phishing attacks. It is an efficient way to deal with the dormant online users. The currently dormant online customer may access their account more frequently to prevent having to reactivate it at a physical location. And dormant online accounts can be protected in this method. The cons of this approach are that the reactivation process poses a serious inconvenience to the customer, and it's hard to decide how long an account should be kept active. What we recommend is to deactivate a dormant online account after a fixed period of time, notify the customer with a text message or email, and require reactivation at a physical bank location. We recommend this because deactivating a dormant account is a great way to give it security measures and protect it from phishing attacks and other types of attacks. Since customers are going to be notified that their account is deactivated, they will not be surprised or face unexpected access to their account. Customers are still given the opportunity to reactivate their accounts and to begin online banking again. And by doing this, we add just another level of security to the customer's accounts, which we hope they will see is a benefit to them.